Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much for watching. Today I have a full-faced makeup look for you, and the eyes I've called, or will be calling, Smoldering Satin, after this little baby, which is the STILA Glitter and Glow. Absolutely stunning these are. I've got two, so I'm planning on buying a few more of the colours of these. These are just the gorgeous, best eyeshadow I've ever used. So this is the look that I've come up with today, and I did use for the base colours the Dose of Colours Hidden Treasure palette, and that's what that looks like inside. So let's get into the makeup. Okay, so I've already laid down the pencil on my eyebrows. I've used Anastasia Beverly Hills in Blonde. I've gone in and put my primer on just to save a little bit of time in this video so it's not so long, but I've used my MURAD Oil Control Mattifier, which is awesome for actually controlling the oil on my T-zone. As always, my Tarte Clean Slate in my pores area. Don't forget to actually just push that in rather than rub it, or it will pill up. Just go in and push it in, and that's the best product I've found for pores. I've gone through absolutely so many products. And then the exterior or perimeter of my face, I've gone in with my Becca Backlight Priming Filter just to add a little bit of dewiness around the perimeter of my face. So first up, I'm using a different foundation brush today. This is the Guerlain foundation brush. I ordered it and it came in the mail, and I was disappointed in the size. It looks like a travel brush. But anyway, this is my first time using it. I love a buffing brush or something that I can stipple my foundation on so that I don't actually move any of that product that I've put on previously. So I'm going in with my Too Faced Born This Way. This is in Warm Beige. And I've got a feeling I'm going to have to lighten it up a little, so I'm using my Clarins True Radiance, which is a lighter foundation. So I'll just go in and pop this on first, mainly around the perimeter, just to see how it's going to go with the rest of my colour. I think I'm going to like this foundation brush because it's smaller. It's like the Real Techniques buffing brush, which I love. And then I'm just going to go in and dab a little bit of the Clarins throughout that. And put a little bit of the Clarins on the interior space here. I can afford to buff that out around the edges there where I don't have that Tarte product. And then where I do have it, I go in and stipple a little bit more. Which is in this area here. Don't forget to go up right into your ear area there and down onto your neck. Okay, so as always, going in with my Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector on a Morphe E20, just underneath my eyes to give some brightness. Can say a little bit of that blueness that you get underneath your eyes. And it's light enough to be underneath your eyes. It's not like a concealer. Actually feels quite light. Okay, so next up, as usual, my MAC Prep and Prime in Radiant Rose, just a little bit lower down underneath my eyes, just to give me a little bit more brightness down there. This one's a light pink colour. And then just going in with my Zoeva 110 Face Shape Brush. So I'm patting that in or stippling that in a little bit lower down and then actually bringing it up underneath my eyes as I go. And then throughout my makeup application, I'll go in a couple of times with this brush and actually take off any excess product by just stippling and dabbing like I'm doing now. So that by the time you're ready to walk out the door, you've got less product underneath your eyes that's going to crease under there. And then as always, I go back in with my foundation brush and just stipple over that demarcation line there. Okay, so I'm going to use a powder bronzer today, but before I do that, because I've got liquid foundation there and I have a powder, I'm just going to pop a little bit of powder in those areas where I would bronze. So I'm using my RCMA No Colour powder, and the container drives me crazy. The powder just goes everywhere. So pop your brush in, tap off the excess, get it all over the place. And where you're going to pop your bronzer, just pop a little bit of powder on there. That just helps to stop that bronzer really sticking and going patchy in those areas there. Bring it in a little bit to where you're going to put your blush if you're using a powder blush. And the same with your highlight if you're using a powder highlight. So I'm going to use a powder blush today, but a liquid highlighter. So I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Sweethearts bronzer in Sweet Tea, which is a little bit of a glowiness to it, not too much, on my Marc Jacobs the bronzer. And then just go in the areas where you would ordinarily bronze up your face. So that powder just helps to disperse that bronzer without it going patchy. So once again, taking the opportunity, I'm going in with my Zoeva face shape and just patting underneath my eyes there. It's starting to crease, so I'm just going to take out a little bit of that product. It only takes out a tiny bit at a time and just smooths it out. It's just excess product that's going to build up in that area. Time for a little bit of blush, so I'm using my MAC Sheer Tone in Sincere on a Real Techniques blush brush. Just up on top of that bronzer and going in the same direction. It's very sheer and it's pretty neutral, this colour. So time for some highlight. I'm going with my Chantecaille Liquid Lumiere in Sheen. Now this is one of my staple products that I do use. It's a Pixi Wide Awake Crayon Combo, which is an eye product, and I go in with the matte side around the corners of my nose and the outside of my lips. So in place of a concealer, and then I just go in with a dampened beauty blender and just blend that. And then on to contour. So I'm going in with Too Faced contour palette that I usually always use. I love the colours in these. On a Too Faced contour brush. I'm going into the cooler colour on that side there, so you can see it's cooler than the bronze on the bottom. Just a little bit on the tip of my brush. And I'm going in down the middle of my nose, bringing up to the corner of my eyebrow. Now I do that on a little bit of a curve. It's not a straight line as such. I mean, your nose doesn't go straight down like that, so I'm not contouring it as such. I'm just adding a little bit of dimension. I'm not trying to fix any problems on my nose. Keep blending that down so there's no harsh line there. And once you've got it as far as you think you're going to go back with your beauty blender and just really lightly blend over those lines there. I'm going in just underneath my lip, in the centre, just right where that light colour sort of finishes, just right on the edge of that. Just give a bit of shadow underneath your lip. Okay, so I'm going in and priming my eyes now. So I'm using my p.louise base in Rumour 02 on a Dose of Colours concealer brush and going all over my eye, the lid into the inner corner, right up underneath my brow and right out to the outer corner, smoothing that as much as I can with this brush. And then I'm going to go in with my really slightly dampened beauty blender and just really smooth over to get it nice and smooth. Really lightly. going to be extending my eyeshadow a little bit more to try and elongate my eyes a little today. So I want to make sure that that comes right out to the very edge of my brow there. That's where my shadow is going to be going to. And once again, just really softly, lightly smoothing that out with the Beauty Blender. Now I am going to go in and set that today. So I'm just using neutral brown colours. I don't need really any vibrancy in the crease area. So I'm just going in with a very light colour. This is Vanilla Bean from Makeup Geek on a NARS 42 big fluffy brush. I'm just going all over that area. Okay, so I'm going to be using my Dose of Colours Hidden Treasures palette today, which is stunning. I've had a play with these. I've actually used it a couple of times, but today I'm going to be using some of the neutral colours or brown colours. So the Map, which is a really nice beige neutral colour, Key, which is a warm brown, I may use Locket, which is a really slight peachy sort of colour, and the Pearl, I'm pretty sure I'm going to put that in the inner corner. And then what I'm going to do is go over that with the STILA Glitter and Glow. This one's in Smoldering Satin, so I'll just swatch that on my hand for you so you can see it. Gorgeous. Now I'm going to try out a different brush today. This is new. This is Urban Decay Contour Brush. Now because I've got small eyes, sometimes I go in with a contour colour and it just goes too far. It just goes everywhere, too much, and I can't have a nice clean sort of colour in there. So I'm going to try this one today. So it's a little bit smaller, as you can see. That feels really soft. It's quite dense, and it's got a rounded end on it. The brush itself is absolutely beautiful. So it's a washed steel, a brush steel with a black tip there. That looks gorgeous. So I'm going to go in initially with Key, which is that warm brown colour there, and pop some on the tip of my brush and see how this goes. So I want to create this shape first up. So I look down because look down with my eyes up because I've got hooded eyes, and I want to see that colour, so I can make sure that goes in right where I can see it. So that's about there. So I'm creating a crease for myself. So that colour's gone on pretty well so far. So I just want to go down into the inner corner. This is where some brushes can be just too big for me. And then I want to go right out to the outer corner out here. And bring that in. Now I don't want to go too low. I want to make sure that's in line with my eyelash there. So I've created that shape. That's laid down that colour beautifully. The pigment is great. So just make sure the shape is generally what you want first up. So I'm finding this is much easier to do it this way with a smaller brush. Go in and create your shape on the other eye before you actually go in and blend this out. It just gives you a little bit more chance to get them even. And then the other thing, if your eyes are uneven or eyelids are uneven, if I could speak properly, it would be great today. If your eyelids are uneven, like mine, this one's more hooded than the other side, so I can see less of my lid space there. Just make sure you've got that in the right spot so they do look even once your eyes are relaxed. So I've laid down that product, so I'm now going to go into my MAC 217 to blend that out slightly. So I'm going to go into the middle here and hold my brush more horizontal, so it'll actually keep the depth of colour in the crease there and actually blend upwards. So I'm doing small circular motions. And when I get to the outer corner, I'm going to go down and out to blend this outwards. So you don't end up with that sharp line, you end up with more of a circular blown out eyeshadow here. So you can see that starting to blend there. Just a really light hand as well, just hold your brush more towards the end. I tend to sometimes go in a little bit too heavy handed and hold my brush a little bit too close to the ferrule. So try and hold it on the end there. And as you're blending, just making sure the shape's staying in the roundabout what you want. Okay, so I've blended that out as much as I can for now. And then I'm going to go into Locket, which is that really soft peach colour on a Joseph Colours blending brush. I'm just going to go in and run right over the edge of that key colour, just to blend that a little bit more. Now this is a lighter colour, so this will blend up into your brow colour, which we'll do later on, a little bit easier. So right over the edge of that brown there, circular motions. When you get to the outside corner here, you're going inwards just to blend that in. I'm just going back into key with that 217 and actually really defining that crease now with that colour. So back and forth motions in the crease, just to the outer corner. Okay, so I'm going to go in with MAP, which is that lighter cool tone beige on my Makeup Forever 240 brush, and just place that colour on my lid. So not being too pedantic about it, because we are going to go over with the glitter. I'm not doing a cut crease with any base underneath. I just want to make sure that I've got a nice base to put that glitter on. Okay, so I'm going in with my STILA Glitter and Glow in Smoldering Satin. It's got a little applicator on it like that. So basically from the inner corner, I'll show you on this eye. I'll put all over the lid. Make sure you look up, see where that's going to transfer to, and follow that line. And then right out to the outer corner. I'm just trying to let that dry. Before I go in with my 217, I'm just going to go back over the very edge of that. This is pretty much dried. I'm just going over the edges there. Okay, so bottom lash line, I'm going in with my Dose of Colours Flat Definer brush. I'm going into that key colour, which is the dark brown, right up into my lash line. I'm not going all the way in with this one, with this colour here comes all the way in. So I don't want to close off my eyes too much. I'm going about 3/4 of the way across. I just want to blend that out on a Real Techniques shading brush using that MAP colour. Now I can see as I continue to look, this one is a little bit more rounded here and this one's a bit flat. So you've got to go back in, take off any excess product and make sure you've got them the same shape. So I want to round that off a little bit more. And we're going on a MAC 221, which is a small brush as well. And I just want to blend over that very edge there, just to deepen it up so there's no real line where the glitter starts. So basically in the outer corner. And just go back in with your blending brush, back into Locket, which was that peach, soft peach colour. And we're going inwards on the outer corner here. And don't forget to keep checking as you go, once you've placed something else down, that everything else hasn't moved. So you may need to go in again with your little bit of your transition colour, which was the Locket up here on your blending brush. Because sometimes, as you know, when you blend you do lose colour, so you do need to sometimes do things a couple of times to get the right intensity and the right blend. Okay, a tiny bit of colour in the inner corner, so I'm going into Pearl on a Too Faced liner brush, just a pointy little pencil brush basically. I'm just putting a tiny bit of that right in the very inner corner. I'm going to go in and tightline with my Marc Jacobs Blacker. So right underneath the lashes. It tickles like crazy. I'm going into the waterline with the navy blue. This is Rimmel Scandal Eyes in 008 blue. So the navy just in here. I mean, it looks black, but it just gives you a little tiny bit of change of dimension and colour. I love Rimmel products. They go on so well. They do last. This is such a creamy product. You could blend this out all day. So like I said, it does look black, but it is navy blue. I'm just going to go ahead with my Anastasia Dip Brow in Blonde and just pop in any product that I actually have lost. So I've lost the tail there from blending. Sharpen up the outside lines, any sparse areas. And then don't forget to brush that through, that product. Now any mistakes that you've made, I will now fix with my Rimmel Brow This Way, which is a really light pink pencil on a MAC small angled brush. And I'm just going with that product just halfway across my brow there, right up as high as I want it to go. I'm going over that little bit of a mistake there and sharpening up the edge of my brow. I'm just going to blend that down slightly. I'm just going above the brow, no more product on the brush. I'm just shaping that top section there a little bit better. Okay, I'm just going to grab that blending brush that I used before, the Dose of Colours, and I just want to blend that colour, no extra product, just blend it right back up into that Rimmel product underneath your brow there. So you're basically ending up with a diffused line underneath your brow. Okay, I'll go ahead and put some mascara and some lashes on and come back and pop some lippy on. Okay, so I finished up the rest of my eyes. I went in with my mascara, so the MAC Giga Black Lash, Extended Play Giga Black Lash, which I love so much. It just doesn't transfer anywhere. I then went in with my lashes, so my Ardell Demi Wispies. So I'll just put some lippy on now. So I'm using my MAC Strip Down Liner. So I'm going in with Rimmel Matte Liquid Lip, Stay Matte Liquid Lip Colour. Now the colour on this is so tiny at the bottom there, I'll pop it in the description bar for you, but it's a neutral, more cool colour brown or nude. I'm just going in also and just popping a little bit more blush on because I did go with my foundation brush and just take off a little bit of the excess in the lines here, and I did lose a little bit of that blush, so I'm just going back in on the apples. So bit better. Okay, so that's lips dried down. So I'm just going to go in with YSL gloss. And then a little bit of Fix Plus. I always cover my eyes. And let that dry. So I like the eyeshadow look. The glitter to me feels like it's gone everywhere, but it actually looks quite stunning. That product went on so easily. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Now I do have one also in the Molten Midnight, which is a dark grey black colour, which I'll do a look for you in the next couple of weeks as well. I'll just swatch that for you. Oh, that's gorgeous as well. Look at that. These are gorgeous. I'm going to have to get a couple more colours of that. And I'll just quickly swatch the rest of the colours in this palette for you so you can see. So you've got a copper here which is called Diamond. And then there's another lighter shimmery apricot colour called Gemstone, which is beautiful. There's a gold as well, which is called Coin. And then there's a ruby colour, which is called Ruby. So all those shimmery colours are absolutely beautiful. And then there's a black as well, which is quite pigmented. Okay, so if you liked the look today, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, click on the notifications bell so you're notified when I upload more content so you don't miss anything. Keep being the best version of you, and I'll see you in my next video.